Okay, so today I wanted to just run through how I would go about teaching and supporting children with the understanding of doubling and halving, because sort of reception are focusing on this week. So if we start with doubling, obviously the first thing they need to understand and the first thing to think about is what is doubling. So we talk about how it means taking the same number and adding it together. So if double 4 is 4 and 4, 4 add 4. And to start with, we'd use lots of resources to help with that. Now, at school, obviously, we've probably got a wider selection, but counters, pasta, Lego bricks, whatever you've got at home work just as well. So if we were doubling 4, we wouldn't be learning that double 4 means 4 add 4. So we'd start off with 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need 4 more. And if you kind of put them underneath, then we can check there's 2 lots of 4. So 4 add 4 makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's as simple as that really for doubling. Obviously we've got fingers, so to double to up to double 5 is quite easy on your fingers. 5 and 5 is 10 and things, but children do find manipulating their fingers and things quite difficult. So often it's easier with some kind of counter or say pasta, Lego bricks, whatever you've got lying around the house at all, just to work it out. So work out that doubling means having the same number twice, and then using things to help work that out. Eventually, the children will start to know some of them by heart. So maybe already your child might know that 5 and 5 is 10 and double 10, because 10 add 10 is 20 and things. So they might know some of them off by heart, but lots they won't. So they can just continue to use the resources until they become even more familiar. Now, when you go on to finding half of a number, you need 2 of something to help you. So I've just used 2 folded pieces of paper, but you could use plates or anything you've got 2 of really, just to signify that when we split a number in half, we split it into 2 equal groups. But you're still going to need your counters and things like that, so don't lose those for now. So if we're doing half, now just to say as off for doubling, with reception and really even year 1, we wouldn't look to double much more than about doubling to 10. So double 10 is 20. As the children, move through year 1, hopefully they'll start to use some logic about bigger numbers. So, okay, if we were going to double 22, or we possibly know that double 20 is 40, because we know 2 lots of 10s add 2 lots of 10s is 40, and we know double 2 is 4. So they might be able to get there that way, but really the focus is to be doubling numbers up to 10 and starting to learn some of those by heart. And then that'll be the same with halving as well, really, starting with halving numbers up to 10 and then going to halving numbers up to 20. So say we were halving 8, what's half of 8? We'd need our 8 counters, and it's really important here for really careful counting, which is a skill we've worked on lots in the autumn term in reception, but often still needs a little bit of a recap. So just really careful counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We talk about lining the objects up to count them so that we don't miss any and we don't do any twice. As we count, we touch them and move them slightly. With the children, I might do that a little bit more in an exaggerated way. Move them so we know, just to make sure that we know we've definitely got the right amount. So to find half, we've got to split them into 2 groups. So we'll talk about sharing as well. We're sharing it between 2 people. So this is my plate and this is your plate. We're going to see how many we have each. So we do 1 for you, 1 for me, 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 until we've run out. And then to double check that we actually started with the right amount, we need to check that there's the same on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for this person, and 1, 2, 3, 4 for that person. So that's perfect. So half of 8 is 4 because one person's got 4. Obviously exactly the same with any other number, just sharing them out equally until you've run out of counters. That's pretty obvious for us, but children will lose track of which one they've done and things like that. So they might start with 1 for you, 1 for me, 1 for you, and then kind of start things like that. So it's very much having to support them in that. No, you've got to do 1 on each side, otherwise it won't be fair. And for something to be half, or to have half of something, it has to be the same on both sides. And that's the same when you're halving objects. It can only be half if both sides are the same. So you can't go doing it in a random order, because sometimes children be a little bit like, oh, okay, I can probably do this a bit quicker. And with this, it's just rather than them thinking, oh, well, I know 2 and 2 and things like that, I was just trying to encourage them, no, just really take it one step at a time and do one at a time until you've run out of counters. Again, they hopefully, by the time you've been doing this for a little while, will start to remember that half of 10 is 5, and then, the inverse of each other. So if half of 10 is 5, double 5 is 10, and things like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoy your doubling and your halving this week.